Everybody, you all made it to lunch. Congratulations. Good to see everybody here. This session is going to be about something that is near and dear to my heart, which is adding a tech layer to construction drawing. Some of you include technology in your products, some of you do not. Some of you include it in varying layers and varying and differing packages. We're going to explore some of the more popular options, and we're going to take a really deep dive into better ways to not just provide and sell, but also to engineer and document the tech that's going on. So before we introduce the sponsor, I do want to introduce the panel. Actually, I'm going to allow the panel to introduce themselves. Ken, why don't we start with you?
Ken Paterson, Shea Homes, work out of Arizona, but we're a multi-state builder.
John Foshee, Buffington Homes. We're a regional builder in Northwest Arkansas mainly right now, special projects coordinator.
Conor, Sedam, Higharc. I'm out of Detroit, also a recovering home builder, not anymore.
Comes from a long line.
And my name is Sean Weiner. So I am the host of the luxury track of this session, but John and I swapped, so you get my shining face today this session instead of John's. My background is in residential luxury technology integration, and I'm now a technology designer and a homeowner's rep and a software developer in that space. So with that, before we get started, I wanted to introduce our sponsor for the event, for lunch today, John from LiftMaster.
First of all, thank you. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here and be a part of this Tech Home and be a presenting sponsor. Just want to take a few minutes to kind of tell you a little bit about LiftMaster and some of the things that we've done, some of the things that we are going to be doing, and talk about some of the technology. Have you ever seen a spaceship as far as it looks like a garage door opener? So a couple years ago, we started integrating cameras, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the next few slides. But first, who are we? So we are privately equity owned by Blackstone, bought about 2 years ago. We are the largest garage door manufacturer. And probably one of the things that most people don't know about us, that we are the leaders in automobile connectivity. So really, we're trying to make access simple, is really the easiest way I can say it. So obviously, I think most of you are familiar with our hardware products, good, better, best. So we have a product that fits into every price point that's of home that's being built, and every single one of our openers comes with what we call MyQ technology. That's our smart home. So every operator we make is Wi-Fi enabled, so you can open and close from a smartphone. And like I said, we started integrating cameras into a couple of our openers. Now, why would we do that? Well, when you think about it, 83% of homes have an attached garage. So really, the garage is the main entry point. That's really the front door, how people are going in and out of their homes. 70% of the time, the homeowners are using the garage, friends and family about 35%, and service providers about 29%. So with the camera, you're able to monitor that space, okay? So that's really why we've started putting the camera in there, to be able to monitor it. A couple facts about us. Continue just to be the brand leader and builder. Very proud of that fact. We have 8.4 million connected GDOs with over 10 million MyQ users. MyQ is our app. That's how you access and control the garage door opener through the smart device. We also have partnerships with Amazon and Walmart for in-garage delivery, and to date, those partnerships are anywhere from about 3.5, 4 years now, and we've have over 65 million in-garage deliveries. So there again, being able to monitor that space and know what's going on. And so everything with that works through the MyQ app, it's free of charge, to be able to open and close and get in-garage deliveries and all that. So we don't charge for the app. So a little bit more about the MyQ app. Complete control. You get real-time notifications through your smartphone. If you do have one of our camera operators, now you can get live streamed video, two-way communication back and forth. And you can also do either a 7 or 30-day subscription. That's the only time if you want to do storage for video history, but it really gives that homeowner the ability to monitor that space and really know who's coming and going through their garage. So last couple things on that is you can have multiple owners. You can set up schedules. So like say, just to make for sure your garage closes at 10 o'clock every single night. So partnerships again, obviously everybody on there we have a partnership with. Last year we really brought on a lot of car manufacturers and brought those relationships and partnerships. So in this video here, this is a Tesla. So basically what it's showing is through the use of geofencing, once your car gets within 75 feet of the garage door automatically opens up. And then when you leave, conversely, it'll close automatically as well. And so what I would really want you guys to take away from this slide is two things, is the technology that is built in there. I mean, there's no other garage door manufacturer that is spending as much time to enhance that experience for your homeowner. But then the other thing is we have all these partnerships. And so by you using our product, by using the LiftMaster product, now you have those partnerships as well as a builder. And we can help you leverage those things. So latest and greatest, video keypad. So for the last 40 years, keypads never change. It works great, but one code. You go up, put your 4 digits in, opens up. Great, but you don't know who is coming, who's going, or anything like that. So now we have integrated camera into the keypad. So I just want to walk through a couple scenarios here for you, what kind of sets it different. So we know that Avery came home because she used her unique PIN code. You can now have up to 16 unique PIN codes. So now you know who is coming and going. This next one, honestly, I think is what I love the most about it. I won't give it away. I'll let it play out. But this is from a safety perspective as well. So you're at work, all of a sudden you get an alert on your phone that somebody's in your driveway, or your kids.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Dad.
Did you finish your homework?
I don't think he
finish
did.
my homework.
Okay, I'll see you when I get home.
Okay, see ya.
Point being, peace of mind. You're at work and all of a sudden you get an alert that somebody's in the driveway. You can open up that video on your phone, live two-way communication, live streaming video, talk. In addition to the 16 PIN codes, you can also give out one-time or single-use PIN codes. So when your neighbor comes over, so that way you don't have to give out your PIN code and then the entire neighborhood knows how to get into your house, okay? So in this scenario, you're at work or baseball game, whatever it is, you get that alert on the phone, you get that picture right there, you know who is coming and going. You say, yep, that's the person I gave the PIN code to, so you feel good about it. Make sure he didn't go into your beer fridge or take anything else. These things are important, I'm telling you. There's a call function on it, very similar to Ring. I think we're all familiar with the Ring app experience. The difference here is, though, you can actually grant access. So whether it's, a house cleaner, dog walker, neighbor, whatever it is, and you can see in real time what's going on. So it's just really giving that peace of mind to be able to monitor that space and what's going on. Future state for us is going to be vehicle and license plate recognition. We've got some really neat things coming out, some enhanced AI technology in all of our cameras. This scenario here just says, hey, you can set a zone. So if you want to use this camera to monitor another area of your property, you can do that. And then last but not least is with you have a history of motion and then access as well. So Tesla pulls up, opens up, and then you have that history of what's gone on in the last 7 or 30 days. Sorry. So real quick, just to show you a couple of the things on here, like I said, it's waterproof, 16 unique PIN codes, HD with night vision as well. And then how can we help you guys, talk about our partnership? So this is just a couple examples of builder collateral that we have that we can personalize and make it unique for a builder by putting your logo on there. Again, I see these sheets as something that when your sales agents are sitting down says, oh, by the way, we use LiftMaster, and here's the things some of the things that come with LiftMaster you have the ability to do. And by the way, Mr. Homeowner or Mrs. Homeowner, it's free of charge because the technology is already included. And with that, I say thank you for your time. Thank you.
That's a great segue, actually. So the first question I'm going to ask, and I'm going to sort of discuss with the panel here, is why should we include tech in our projects? And I think that presentation speaks volumes. You're all at a technology conference, which means that you've got a little bit more of an interest than maybe some of your counterparts do in integrating technology into your homes. But the question really is why? Why should we do this? And I think that presentation sort of keyed on the benefits of having technology more so than the tech itself. It's a really cool product, and it offers a lot of really cool features. But at the end of the day, it's really about the benefit. It's the safety and security of knowing that your garage is open or closed. It's being able to see your kids in the driveway playing basketball. All those things bring a benefit that a user would appreciate in an application that makes a lot of sense for somebody who's considering buying or purchasing or moving into a new home. So these options are important. I think that's why we're all here. And I'm sort of excited to talk about why we're doing this in the first place. So Ken, I always like to start with somebody like you with a loud voice and a strong opinion. I guess you know Ken, don't you?
Pretty much.
So why should we include tech in our projects?
Yeah.
Or not? Why not?
Yeah, so, I think we're at a tipping point. And for the builders in the room, I think the pandemic was probably a shift that we didn't expect. And, so we had this huge run up in volume. We had supply chain issues, labor issues, all these things, that we dealt with. And then the market, calms down a little bit, and then interest rates go up, and we had to all shift our business. And, prior to that, Shea Homes, we would build 80% build to suit and 20% inventory. And so we really focused on that customer engagement. And it's not that we don't focus on it, but we learned a lot through it. And I love your example here about a car. My son bought a Tesla, the cheapest Tesla that you can get, and it's loaded with technology. And so I would say our mindset as we transition into 2024 and to 25 is if we're building 80% inventory, home technology should not be an option. We should not offer for inventory homes like a good, better, and best. You can't get a good, better, and best in a car. And so I really feel that we have to, especially as an organization and an industry, say what's best in class at a price point to meet that huge consumer demographics that we went through yesterday at various price points and various locations that, there should be built-in technology more than we're doing today. That if you said, hey, I'm going to build, 500 inventory homes in 2024, what are you going to put in them? And what's going to meet the needs of that specific consumer group that's looking at that? So I think this is an exciting time. It's not, should we put tech in? It's what tech are we going to put in? So.
Wow, that's a much more positive answer than I expected. So
I love
John,
you, Sean.
and I appreciate you being here. So John, you guys offer technology in your products. Can you give me an idea of what you include and why?
Pretty much standard, the standard smart home package, the thermostats, the LiftMaster smart garage door opener, the doorbell, the lock, the panel that controls it all with the app that can, one app to control it all. That's, standard what most people, when you think of smart home package, that's what we do. But like he said, I mean, technology is not, or maybe I'm building on what he said, technology is not something that's coming. It's already here. Smart home is already here, and people are starting, they're expecting it now. Whereas before it was always a nice thing that, now you're adding it. But, our job is to educate our salespeople and our teams and say, look, if we're gonna sell this, then sell it. Because like I heard somebody say earlier, what does your sales team sell? What they know the best. If you don't educate them, then, what are we doing? It's not gonna sell. You're not gonna get good take rates. And, so.
How did you arrive at your decision to sell the products and services that you sell as part of the tech? Did you feel compelled that you had to, or was it something?
Yeah, we like to be, the leader in our market, and our ownership said, hey, we want to start doing smart homes. So I started coming to Tech Home 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was. Started researching this and putting together a package and, building and, it's come so far in that it's light years from that 3 years ago where we are right now with everything that's, everything back then. You got to have a panel, you got to have this, you got to have, wired connections. Now they're saying, no, we got to have wireless. So it changes so often, but you got to trying to stay on top of it. That's the challenge for us is just, how are we the leader, and segueing into Higharc, we're going to put these technologies into our home. Well, it needs to be on the plan. We talk a lot between us and Higharc about our plans being a single source of truth. If we're going to sell technology, then we need to have it on our plans so that everybody knows, okay, where is the camera location or where does the thermostat go? That's one big thing we always get, where's the thermostat in the house? It's going to be on this wall or it's going to be on this wall. And you go into one house, it's here, it's on the next house, it's over here. And the homeowner says, well, I saw it in the model, it was over here. Well, if you get that on your plans, there's no confusion,
So I'm going to ask you the inverse of this question, which is there are reasons in the past, and maybe even some reasons today, why there are certain technologies you don't install. So are there any reasons for not including these systems? And in the past, were the reasons that prohibited you from offering technology? Were you concerned about reliability? Was it too high tech? Was it usability?
Yeah, concern, and with technology, it's always evolving. So you put something in, you're worried about, is it outdated by the time you roll out your package? Is that package outdated? Which has been a problem. Yeah, by the time you get a package out that rolled out, something better's come along, and we try to look ahead and try to stay ahead as far as we can. But you want something that, as a pack, for me, as a smart home package, I want something that is I can build on, not, that's not going to be outdated by the time my sales team, sells it and the homeowner actually moves in.
Ken, what about you? I know that you've had some objections in the past.
Well, because we've had some failures in the past, and I think, Shea Home's privately held company, been in business almost 140 years. We don't answer to Wall Street. We answer to our owners and our customers, and we have to stand behind our homes. And so, we've had some failures and had to go into a lot of homes and fix a lot of stuff. And so to your question, like, how do you pick those companies that you work with? You look at our technology solution, they are the biggest brands in the industry, for a couple reasons, right? If you're putting appliances in your home, you're going to match yourself with a big brand appliance or bath fixtures or whatever it is. Technology today, and you said it's just another part of the home. It's like better cabinets or appliances or door hardware. And so, you have to be a little bit conservative. When you make a commitment as a builder, and just let's say a community, 140 home sites, you're married to that thing for 3-4 years, and then you have the warranty after it. So those products better be sustainable and match the brand of the company that you work for. So I think that's been some of the hesitancy, but technology is mainstream and it's much easier to get today, which is great.
Yeah. So I do think there's a sales and marketing message here, right? Which is you're offering these technologies. You mentioned big brands. Sometimes it's a better integration, but there's always a reason that you'd want to offer something over something else, or something different. So I created this slide because I think this is pretty well known. Anybody know the answer to this question?
Fear.
There you go. You nailed it. So the security industry relies on us being afraid, being concerned for safety, for security, for health and welfare. They made a fortune, a large fortune actually, selling us monitoring and security products year after year after year because we have an innate fear of and want to protect our homes and our environments. When you sell technology products that are outside the security realm and sometimes inside the security realm, you rely on an integrator or an installer or an electrical contractor or security provider to install those products for you. And so while the industry has changed a little bit, one thing really hasn't changed much. So the integration industry, of which I was a part of for 30 years, doesn't necessarily rely on this emotion or feeling, but it's helped the industry grow. Does anybody know what this might be? It's true. There's confusion amongst consumers. How many video doorbells are on the market today? Can anybody answer that? Because I don't know the answer. At least a dozen.
Everybody has
I bought one last week.
Yeah, right.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just too many options.
There are too many choices, too many options.
Yeah.
Do you know which system that video doorbell works with, or which ones it doesn't work with?
I just ended up picking one. I don't know if I picked the right one, but I got sick of looking at them.
So what happens ultimately is we end up making selections based on a recommendation, an online ad, our next door neighbor, or our friend whose son is a techie at some college someplace, and it's not always an educated decision. So the integration world has been, we came up through the ranks of putting these things together and making them work, and we're selling to builders saying, hey, we're gonna be your partner in this and make sure that we do a good job, and when these things change, we'll be there to support it, which is great, but that's not what you want to hear. You want us to fix it when it breaks, but you prefer it not to break or not to stop working. And when a firmware update makes a device stop communicating, that can be problematic. So the real question here is, what do we want to sell and why? So I'm not going to read all these to you. You can read them for yourself. I've got 2 slides full of statistics. The theme here, the common theme, is that technology is not diminishing. It's not going away. It's not becoming less important. I think everyone here knows that. It's sort of obvious in today's society that this is really important in these homes. And what I will tell you is I think you're going to see a session on AI in this room. I don't know if it's already happened or if it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm doing one across the hall tomorrow as well. We've seen technology advance really, really quickly over the years. In some cases, too quickly. I think people are concerned that they can't keep up with it. AI is going to create new technology by itself at speeds like we've never seen before. So the improvement in not just what the technologies are, but how they perform and how they can predict what we need them to do is going to be shocking to a lot of people. And it's going to change the game. But what I want to relay in this presentation, and we'll get through a few slides of this too, is that there still needs to be a solid foundation for all these things. Ultimately, AI and the client will decide what these projects and these technologies are going to do. It's sort of incumbent on you to set that foundation and build that basis so they can take advantage of those technologies when they want to, or in some cases avoid them if they choose to. So there's another page full of stats here. So how do we add value and improve our tech and options to our home designs? I've got a few suggestions for you. The first one should feel obvious. All these images are AI generated, by the way. There's not a real human there. Focus on applications and not products. And I think the LiftMaster example was a good one that we kicked off this session with. We don't care what the product is, or we as builders shouldn't care what the product is. The manufacturers in this room probably don't want to hear me say that. But the reality is you want the outcome. You want the feeling, you want the result, you want the interaction with the client, you want the stickiness of a technology that they're going to use not just once when they move in, but use and continue to use for years. You want upgrade capabilities, and whether it's lighting or music or security or motorized shades, these are all things that are really going to be important to your clients, and it's how you're going to market yourself and differentiate yourself from your competitors. I think it's really easy to say that Ring doorbell is the biggest name in video doorbells, and so I as a builder am going to put Ring doorbells in every single house that I build. That may be a great strategy, but I guarantee you someone else is doing that too. So it doesn't make you different or special by doing This has been a big one for me for years. I've been doing this event with John for about 5 years now. I used to be a sponsor as an integrator and an installer. Now I'm helping him design the curriculum, but consider standard offerings. The one thing I will say is that wiring a house and just wiring a house for future stuff is a horrible idea. Everyone buys the wire because they're afraid. Again, we're selling fear again. You're afraid you won't have what you need to support what you want to buy down the road. I don't have a budget for a big technology system right now, so we're going to wire it and do it later. You know how many people do it later? Virtually none. It's because it's not convenient. Nobody wants to wire for speakers and then move into a home and then come back with ladders and drop claws and cut holes in the ceiling and try and find the wires and have to patch drywall if you miss. It's just not something that people generally do. They might upgrade the TV, but any of these built-in technologies that you're offering, they're not going to want to upgrade.
Well, and the thing, Sean, about that, you look at a home audio system, right? I would tell you in a 2,000 square feet, our home with home audio, it doesn't come with a MAMP or an amplifier, it's just the speakers. We're going to charge $4,000 to $6,000. I can log on Amazon and buy $1,000 worth of Sonos speakers or anybody else's Bluetooth speakers, and they go in my home and they go in my backyard and they go camping with me. And so that, I look at that as an industry and we're like, we have to fix that. Because I don't buy a car and get charged $6,000 for my car audio. You know, it's included in the price. And I love this slide because if we're going to get it included in the home, integrators, manufacturers, and builders have to work together. Margins have to come down. And we have to figure out a way to make that happen.
You're selling systems, not products.
Yeah.
Right. And when you buy a car, if you went to the BMW dealership down the road from here and wanted to buy a car, you're not going to be able to pick out the leather you want and the steering wheel you want and the radio that you want and the touchscreen that you want. They're going to give you a luxury package or a sports performance package. They've already decided what you're able to buy from them, which is exactly how you should be designing your packages too. If I come to you to buy or purchase a home, I trust that you know what you're doing, and you're going to give me something that's a solution that's fully baked. You can't put a different brand touchscreen in that Honda Accord you bought. You just can't. I guess theoretically you can, but you shouldn't because it's fully baked and fully integrated.
Yeah, we made the mistake of thinking when we first started we needed to offer all these a la carte options. You know, you can put this and this, you know, but the take rates on it versus packages was just, you know, wasn't even a comparison, you know.
It might not necessarily be the margin on the products you're selling either. If you can provide an easier experience, maybe you're not making thousands of dollars on the speaker package, but maybe you're differentiating yourself between the builder down the street because the package you're offering is, I don't have to think, just like my doorbell example. I don't have to think about it. I just give me the thing, it'll work, and I don't that might be the reason I go to Shea instead of somewhere else.
Yeah. In my history, in my years of working with high volume builders, I was shocked at how much time and energy they put into building these homes. Building them more efficiently, making them more energy efficient, getting them across the finish line in time, minimizing punch lists, making choices on all the options that are structural, all the options that are decorative, all the things that people want to buy and want to see in their homes, their marketing plans, their marketing materials, their website. It's a lot of stuff, right? You're doing a remarkable job. There's none of that attention in most builders paid to the technology that gets installed in their homes. You've historically kind of tossed it off to the integrator and said, here, you guys go deal with this, tell us what to put in and we'll put it in there and we'll offer it as an option. And you either promote it actively and sell it and make clients happy with it or you don't. But the best way to do this is to be thoughtful. Just like everything else that you do on your daily trip to the office, you make good decisions based on what's best for your business and for your clients. And if you work with a tech design firm, whether they're an integrator that does the install or just an outside designer, a third-party designer, and really strategize with, what are our clients looking for? Who is our demographic? Who's buying our homes? What makes sense for them? What features have we found are most important? How can we build a tech package around that and sell the outcome as opposed to selling the products? You can have a much different outcome than you typically do. And then, John, I'm going to let you kind of address the value of once we've done that, how do we bake it into the plans? How do we make it easy to communicate? Because the one thing I will say is that tech options tend to be relatively inexpensive compared to some other options in the house. Not always, but sometimes. So there's not a high profit item for you. So you may want to sell a kitchen or an upgraded bathroom or a sunroom before you'd sell a tech package because you make more money and it's easier, right? So how do we simplify this process to make the tech things that seem complicated easier?
Well, I think most part, getting, having a plan to start with. Okay, this is the package we're gonna offer this family room audio package. Okay, well, I've got this family room audio package. Well, what's the first question? Well, where do the speakers go? Where, you've got your lights on your plan. Some of you hopefully have your HVAC ducts on your plan, but now where do I put the speakers? If you don't have that on a plan, then you're going back and you're, like you said, you're cutting out, having to tear out sheetrock because, we need to move this light because there's supposed to be speakers, or we need to move this, HVAC run because it's in the way, or, if you have all of that in your plans from the start, then you're saving yourself that headache. And how much time do we go back? How much, we don't even quantify how much time it actually costs us to go back and fix something. There's no way to, you can try to put numbers on it, but you never regain time lost. So by going ahead and getting these tech, if you're committed to doing tech, if you're committed to doing these options, it should be just like anything else, the structure of your home, it should be in the plans. And John's not in here, but he and I have talked about this for the last couple of years, this panel, and we've got to get how do we get technology? John, technology is John. So, but I agree with him. It should be, if we're going to sell it, if we're going to offer it, it needs to be part of the plan and part of, on that set of drawings, that single source of truth that I talk about, that set of drawings should have everything on it that's going in the house, so that there's no confusion. That saves you going back and fixing the things, where there's a speaker supposed to be there. Well, we didn't know that. We put the light there instead, or we put a HVAC supply or return there instead. So
awesome. Well, that's a perfect lead in. So Conor, you've got a product that helps do that. I've heard a rumor about it. Can you explain not just how, but why you've done the things that you've done with the Higharc product?
Sure. When it comes to integration, John mentioned it, but we talk about it all the time. It's a single source of truth. It's having a lot-specific set of drawings that includes all of the things that should go into that house. That means being specific and intentional about what we put on drawings, being specific and intentional about what drawings we can send to what people. So what Higharc allows you to do is create specific pages, just like we have an electrical plan, or we might have a mechanical plan, or a framing plan. We can create a tech layer, and we can specify where things are going to be on a lot-specific plan for that house, and we can also build in collision detection so that if there is a light where we've tried to put a speaker, the system is going to know that and go, hold on, we have a problem here. So hopefully we're solving some of those problems with automation, also with generative design, in terms of if the layout of the house changes, we can automatically adjust instead of having to go, we added a third car garage, now we need to move the camera over to the corner of the house. That's going to happen automatically because the design system knows inherently that this camera goes on the corner. It doesn't matter if the corner is here or if we add 4 more garages, the corner is still the corner and moves it out there automatically. So.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah.
Ken, have you looked at this product before?
No, I have not looked at the product. We made the switch from Autodesk to Rivet for all of our plans. Because to your point exactly, and I love the concept of your product, but if you take a look at a production home, you may have one plan, and like you're saying, it has a few different room options. It also has different elevations, and from a gable end to a hip truss. And so depending on the truss locations or the floor joist locations, we don't want trades to pick and choose where they put things. Yeah. And if they go, just equal distance in all 4 corners, but you have 2 hip jacks there and you can't put them in. And so we've been, over the last couple of years, slowly integrating our technology pages. So we know our distribution centers are in the same location, and with the Euro, they pick the location. If it's speakers, we tell the customers, you don't pick the speakers in your car. Yeah. Our integrator has looked at our plans and going to put the speakers in the location to optimize the audio in that space. And so every single component, just the care that we put into designing the homes or the width of a hallway or the bathroom layouts or kitchen layouts. This is why I'm just like, hey, technology just needs to be an integrated piece, and we're all playing off the same music.
Yeah, and that's another pain point for your consumer. You're going to come in and do at pre-con and redline all this. Typically, where do I want that speaker? No, you tell them. You pick this package, like you said. This is where the speakers go because we've had an expert, lay it out for you. You don't have to. And that takes that pain point from the consumer, not having to work. One more thing they've got to pick out in their design appointment.
Yeah, and it's not that there hasn't been professionals in the integration industry or manufacturer. I think builders, there's this transition where we're all recognizing and respecting each other just like we do from lighting. I mean, look at what we did in lighting, right? We went from incandescent bulbs to quartz halogen to all these crazy things. And everybody has LED lighting. Mm-hmm. Now you get LED lighting, which is integrated into the home. I can change the color temperature. I can change the color. So yeah, we're probably, 20 years behind cars, but we're catching up.
Mm-hmm. Well, trades don't want to go out on the job site and figure out where the speakers go either. Mm-hmm. They don't make more money when they get out there and go, now I got to call John and I got to come out here and I go, hey, this layout is different than the last house. So now we got to figure out where to put these speakers. Like we can make it so much easier. And that's, I think, the key. It's also going to get you a better trade base. The trades are going to want to work for you if your plans are clear and your instructions are clear.
Yeah. Well, and just like in the earlier presentations, motorized window treatments, super popular, right? And we sell a lot of motorized window treatments. But what you don't know is, where do you put all those transformers? Mm-hmm. And where's all that cabling going to? And so we're saying, hey, we have to dedicate more and more space in our high-end products. They all have AV rooms. We have rooms dedicated to hold all those transformers, so you don't have a motorized shade and then you have a little plug-in transformer at the bottom of it in your $2 million home. So it's an exciting time, as I shared, that we're all trying to figure this out and making a home a better place.
Yeah, I'm really excited as a tech geek about the opportunity to automate things that used to be manual processes. And one of the sessions I did earlier today was about collaboration and communication in the building process and how important that is and what happens if it doesn't go well. And I think what you all were describing just now is if someone makes an executive decision on one of your project sites to relocate a device and it doesn't find its way into the plans, not only do you have potential problems with locations or co-locating devices, you have issues, potentially structural issues, but you also have no record of where that was supposed to be. So when you go back to Service Sitter, if you hire a remote service provider, they might not know where that device is because it's not where it's shown on the plan. It was changed in the field. It was never communicated back to the team that's going to be handling your service and support. It's not communicated back to the integrator. That's not communicated back to the builder if it's changed in the field. Right. And it can create a whole series of problems. So as an industry guy, I'm excited to see companies like Higharc who are a little bit more forward thinking and saying, let's take this process and take some of the human error element out of it and make sure we can document these things along the way.
Well, just to go further than that, even just getting it on the plans with Higharc, with their procure part of it, then it's going to take, you put that on the plan, it's on the plan, now it's in your takeoff. And that feeds over into your ERP and, one source of truth. We'll keep hitting that button, but, if it's on the plan, it's going to be part of your takeoff. You don't have to somebody go back in there and manually count. And sorry, I won't get on a big Higharc commercial right now, but just go take a look at how it works. And you're looking at that set of plans. You can pull it up in 3D. I'll just use Windows as an example. You can on Procure, you can pull that set of windows up, and every windows, if they're in 3D, it's taken away everything but the windows, but where the location is, and you can see that window, as you're, and that's your takeoff there. You pull that, feed it directly into your ERP, and it's one source to get everything from.
So I mentioned earlier the value of building packages, right? Of sort of building the sandbox for your clients to play in. The converse of that is what you don't want to do is limit options too much. I don't think that you want your home buyers who are spending a good amount of money on a new home to feel like they don't have options to choose from. You just want to control those options, right? You want to build that sandbox that they play within. And I have some slides that we probably don't need to flip through, but this is from Bravos, one of the companies I used to work for or work with, and one of the companies I helped found. This is a set of engineering documents that we created for clients. These were created manually for every single custom project. They're very time consuming. And generally speaking, they're followed during the installation process. But as you all know, with custom construction, things change. And it becomes tedious to update these drawings every time there's a change on the job site. But as a service provider, we have to, because we have to understand where all these devices are and what they're connected to and how they're installed. Because if someone calls our tech support line or emails our tech support service technicians, they have to know what's on site. They can't guess and take stabs at it and try and reset things that don't necessarily exist. So this has been the traditional way of doing engineering and design, which is very expensive, but it's really necessary. And I think it's filtering down from the custom world. And I'm excited about the concept that Higharc can provide similar levels of documentation engineering in a technical layer on a set of drawings that can change with the change. So something as simple as adding a TV location or moving one in a room, the receptacle's got to move too. So the integrator's got to be notified, the electrical contractor has to be notified. There might be price changes at a company that from builder to consumer, from builder to subcontractor, or vice versa. Having to go through those processes manually, something always gets missed, and it's a very expensive and time-consuming process, and prohibits us from selling and installing and promoting the services and products we want to promote and support.
Yeah, one thing, I mean, people know me, I'm a big VR geek. So I love VR for homes, for communities, for amenities, the whole thing. I think it's what the consumer needs because they get it through vehicles and a whole bunch of other things. But I love what you're talking about because we're adding a lot of these options in our VR models. And so the consumer can walk through the home and see an included kitchen, or they can see a gourmet kitchen, they can see room options, they can visualize that. And you have to extend that into the backyard. We listen to these presentations, and 60% of the consumers are, millennials, and they want this level of technology, and they're all stressed out, and they want to go home and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not the home. It is the home site. It is the ambience that you experience when you come into the home. It's that backyard and integrated technology in the drawings that you're showing. It's that holistic approach, and I think that's the consumer need that we have to really, drive forward and capture, and we have to market it really, really well, and so, again, it's an exciting time.
Awesome. We've got two more things to cover. One of them is going to be helping you decide and helping you think about what standards you should include in your homes, and the next one's going to be sort of looking or a glimpse into the future of what this could look like a couple years down the road maybe not even a couple years, maybe a few months down the road when we sort of develop this into a more realistic product and solution for your projects. Power. There's a reality that most service calls, most issues with technology and tech items installed in the home fail for one of two reasons. It's not a manufacturing reason, it's not a defective product reason. It's either bad power or it's a bad network connection. So it is fundamental, just like it is to pour a solid foundation in a house, to build a technology foundation for that house that's robust. It is the most unsexy thing you will sell to your clients. Nobody wants to spend more than a nickel for power because I've already paid an electrician, I've got power coming into the house. Nobody really wants to pay for network because the cable guy is going to come in and throw a router on my floor and it's going to give me internet throughout my house. That is not, nor has it ever been, the right solution or even a good solution. It's a solution, it's a cost-effective solution, but it is not the right one. So until the home building industry, the architectural industry, the interior design industry, and the tech industry start saying, hey, listen, there are products that are designed to work and make other products work better, we don't have a chance of success. So you're all sort of beholden to this idea that it's up to you to promote these things. And if you want to avoid service calls on your tech projects, make sure your integrator or your electrician or whoever's providing these products for you guarantees that there's a solid power foundation and a solid network foundation. In addition, I'm sure you've all experienced all these power requests. You've got electric vehicles being parked in garages that need extra power. You've got new kinds of appliances. You've got lighting that's smart. So now the lighting isn't necessarily switched like it once was. It has to be powered differently. There's transformers, there's drivers, there's all sorts of devices that have to be taken into consideration. All those things require planning. They're not difficult with the right designer, but they require planning, and they need to be built into your designs. I mentioned the network. I love some of these extenders and things that you can buy for do-it-yourself networks. They are not part of a robust home network. I don't care what anybody tells you. If it's not an enterprise-grade, fully managed network, it is not the right one for a luxury home or even a good, solid, production-built home. You don't have the ability to see what's going on inside that network. No visibility to what's failing. You don't have the ability to service and support that. Music, I'm doing a session on tomorrow. I think that music is probably the most overlooked feature in the house now. We've gotten so used to saying throw in a couple speakers in the ceiling and put a Sonos player in, we've sort of forgotten why music is important. Music is a visceral, emotional experience for people. And whether it's in the home, it's in the car, it's at a concert. We're in Music City right now. I guarantee you're going to go into a bar or a restaurant tonight, hear a live performance, and it's going to have an emotional impact on you. It might not be massive, it might not be life-changing, but you're going to feel it. So is a pair of ceiling speakers the best possible experience you can have? Absolutely not. They're out of the way, right? They cover the space. But if you've ever listened to a really, installed pair of ceiling speakers, you're like, man, there's music in the room. That's pretty cool. But go ahead and go to an audio demo. Do yourself a favor if you're ever in a city or a place that's got a high-end luxury showroom that sells Sonos Faber or Meridian or Macintosh or one of those product lines, walk in and ask for a demo. It will change your life. It'll change your view on why audio is important. And I think if you provide that experience in your models, if you provide that experience for your customers, you can create a whole new selling opportunity, an upgrade opportunity for you that you haven't thought of in a long time, because music is literally just taken for granted. Light and lighting, it's a game changer. There's so many different types of fixtures now that are at our disposal. There was a time with an incandescent bulb, we had a 6-inch or a 5-inch can, right? You guys that offered lights, those were your two choices, 5-inch or 6-inch. And 5-inch was cool, it was sexier, it was sleeker. We can get a 1-inch LED fixture in your ceiling now. We've got linear lighting that can run up a wall and across the ceiling. You can light the underside or the toe kicks of your bathroom cabinets. You can use LEDs as night lights. You can use color changing LEDs. You can use circadian rhythm lighting that you've all been probably talked to death about. But there's so many opportunities for using lighting to just make the home more beautiful, to make it more comfortable, to improve health and wellness and mental well-being. Tons of opportunity in the light space. And then safety and security, it's still a primary concern. We're still going to scare the crap out of our clients and tell them they've got to have these things. But it runs not just through burglary anymore, but water. Water detection is huge. A water incident inside one of your homes is not good for anybody, especially the homeowner. And then cybersecurity, that's a big deal too. I have clients asking me if they're Chinese-made chips in the products they're installing in their homes, because they're concerned that we're going to have a rough election cycle and China's going to want to invade the United States and they're going to take over all the smart homes in the world, right? Might sound far-fetched, but it's not impossible. So there's a lot of safety concerns out there when it comes to technology, a lot of safety concerns when it comes to the neighborhood I'm moving into. These are all things that your clients are thinking about, and it's in your best interest to address those probably head on rather than avoid them. So this is my the end of my soapbox lecture here, which is, if you design thoughtfully and limit options selections to ones that you can manage and control, and the key in that sense that you all as builders can manage and control. Make sure that you've got the right products and the right providers that you can have control over that situation. You can transform your business. You truly can. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Conor, who's going to tell us a bit more about Higharc. And before I let you roll with it, I just want to introduce it and how we got where we are with this presentation. So John asked me to meet with Conor and talk about what this should look like. Not necessarily where we are today, but how tech should integrate with a product that's sort of revolutionary in the marketplace in terms of how they deal with the home building process. And we put some things together. There's a couple mock-ups in here that I think are fun to look at and talk about. And I want you to leave here just thinking and understanding what this could be. And then I want you to tell Conor to work faster to make this a reality when we leave this room.
Yeah, some of this we've kind of already covered, but just thinking about as builders, do we think about any of these things as like an annoyance? Do we look at them as, when we were talking about music, it makes me think of, I feel like as an industry, we're at the tape deck thing for the CD player that we all used to have. You'd put the tape in so you could plug in your CD player because you didn't have one in your car. You've got to stop thinking about tech like that. So why do we think of these things as afterthoughts, necessary evils, annoying, don't bother, do it after they move in? It's only different in your mind, everybody. We have to unlearn as an industry what we've learned about how we approach tech. So, from somebody who might know a thing about this. How can we adapt as an industry? Is this? Oh, I missed it.
This is what it is, okay? I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
So how do we become water when it comes to tech in the industry? We all know about the old way. I ran construction for a home builder. Basically, I would give people a business card for our local tech company and say, here, go talk to these people. I got a day in the schedule. If you can't fit it in a day as a schedule, you're not allowed to do it. That's basically how I looked at it. And then, thank good. I feel like if attics and basements didn't exist, we would look at this a lot differently. If we finished the attic and the basement of every house and we were like, we have no second chances, we would spend a lot more time thinking about this stuff. These are, I won't make you read through all these, but these are just some things I found in an article about kind of the current state of things, which I just frankly think is kind of overwhelming. Builder offers, these are all national builders that said these things in this article. They're not super impressive. They're just kind of like, yeah, we do some stuff. So better way, things we talked about already. Packaging options for simplification so we can upsell easier. Provide precise visual representations of the possibilities. Show people exactly what they're gonna get and where it's gonna go. And then don't just show your customers, show the people that are going to install, and not necessarily even the people that are gonna install, the people that are going to be affected by that install. So show the electrician where the speakers are gonna go. He might not care, but he'll care if his lights are in the way, like we talked about. So things we can do at Higharc is we can put this tech layer into the drawings and we can have it adapt when the home adapts. So say we're going to a community that has larger lot sizes and we're gonna stretch the size of this house. You can see the living room adapting there with the TV on the wall. We can have these homes adapt automatically and not have to reposition these items unless we want to. 3D visuals to enable customers and trades. This is just something we put together really quick. Sorry, I used ring. I know we talked about it doesn't have to be a ring.
I don't hate ring, by the way.
Before, but being able to show the customers, yeah, it might sound silly, but here's what a doorbell looks like. Here's where your camera is going to be on your house. Here's where the backyard camera is going to be. And then being able to offer them packages that make it easy. Don't make it hard for me. Don't make me pick where the camera should go.
Yeah. So, sorry to interrupt you, but John, do you use that tool with your clients now?
Yes, to some extent. We have them, we're not to the 3D yet,
Okay.
but as far as all of these options, but it's on the plan, our
It's
tech set of
happening.
plans.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And these are things that are obviously adaptable. Like I talked about before, if the home stretches, that camera knows where it exists on the home. It's not just a thing in space. It knows it belongs on the corner of that house, and it will adapt to the corner of that house. I think, show customers the products where they are in their exact homes. This is a little, I went too far. Sorry, guys in the back. We were talking about this before, but be able to go into the house and be able to show people what different size televisions will look like. Be able to show them the exact product and that's the exact specifications. You can see down at the bottom, there's a description of the exact TV we're gonna use. And then be able to change the size so they can stand in their house and go, this is what a 65 inch is gonna look like. This is what a 75 is gonna look like.
And this is how much.
And that's and this is exactly how much it's gonna cost and where it's gonna go, right?
Which I think is a bit transformational in and of itself. How many of you actually sell televisions? None. But would you like to if you could? If it was this easy, would you? I mean, you sell appliances from Samsung. You sell refrigerators and ranges and what have you. Why wouldn't you sell a television?
We sell a boatload of televisions. But the incredible thing is televisions are changing because we started selling the art TVs. They're wired completely different than a normal TV. It's a little bit difficult after the fact to put those in, but yeah.
And I think, like I mentioned before, but it's not necessarily even just about making some massive margin off of the TV. It's differentiating yourself. I go in here and this, this builder is going to sell me this complete package, so that when I move in, I don't have to worry about buying a TV. It just makes it easier. And then usable outputs is a big one. We can actually, tied to that model, in the data inherent in that model, we can download a plan set based on the selections that a homeowner has made and output a construction document set. And this is going to scroll through a couple different details, but the options that they picked for that 85-inch TV are specified. The locations are in 3D, so the installers and the installers of other products can see where those are going to go to help avoid collisions. And then we can develop a tech layer specifically that's going to show the locations and hopefully how they interact with other things. The most obvious one is electrical. But we could very easily automatically output a layer that just has tech, that has nothing else on it for a trade.
All right. So if I were to bring you a set of technical specifications as a builder, that these are the things that I want to include in my home, these are the technologies I want to include, it's been vetted by a tech designer, by an integrator, what have you, I already decided these all work together. You could put those things into your tool and give me some visualization capability that I didn't have otherwise to sell technology options into the house that I'm building.
Yeah, and we can actually do it in a high fidelity state as well. So actual rendering outputs that will show that TV in a finished room, like we were talking about, virtual sales rooms, is an output of the same system, and it's all based on the data. When you design the home in Higharc Studio, the house is going to be the right, the size, the rendering you create is based on the model, so there's no chance for anything to be different size or different shades or anything like that.
So Ken, you're not using this tool now, but you're selling these options. Do you see value in this as a solution?
Yeah, I think it's a great solution. I mean, how do you tell a story to the customer on their, buying journey? I mean, we need it, right? We just have to get there. I mean, we do all these things for all the other attributes that we put inside of the home, all the other options and upgrades and design studio. Again, this is just going to be a part of every home.
So John, are you using this as a sales tool or just as a sort of production tool and a coordination tool now?
Right now we're using it a little bit of both, getting better. I don't want to overpromise, but what we're, how to say this? We're growing as Higharc's growing, and they're adding these new features all the time. So, see where this is, you see what we see in it. The technology is there, and for us using it and getting our people trained in it, and so that everybody is on the same page. It's invaluable. I mean, how fast this I don't want to get into a commercial, but how fast this program works is just amazing. The fact that this is so intuitive that it knows that you're drawing up, when you draw a bathroom, it knows that it's got to have, a standard secondary bathroom has a tub shower unit, a commode, and a sink and a light, and all these things are already on the drawing, when you draw the room, and it's already pulled those items in. Like he said, like if you had the TV on there, it knows, okay, it's this TV, the one you picked is the one it's going to put on the wall. And then you can go in 3D and see it. It just blows me away, how far this, and I think about, I see where we've been in the last 2 years and where we're going to be in the next couple of years. It's just so exciting to see. And like I said, keeping up with technology, Higharc, does that. They're always evolving, always, how do we keep up? What's the next thing? And having a partner like that for us is invaluable. We offer a lot of options. We don't like the word custom, not that we don't like custom, but we call it personalized production because we're a luxury production builder. And we have so many options that we offer, and with Higharc, we're able to use that, from technology to kitchen countertops to sinks to appliances. All of that is in that model. And once you pick the item, it's yeah, you can go in and walk through and see it in 3D, and it's just, I'm not sure I answered your question, but
I'll buy you dinner tonight, John. It's okay.
Well, I think the interesting piece to it is, we spend all this time up front designing homes and doing everything. And so I think you guys have a great solution in the design process. Then you have the build process, which is great, but then you have the marketing. And so you heard it yesterday, I think, Ken, Kadra was saying that, new home searches are almost hitting 100% online. So you show some of these tools. Number one, whether you use an Enter Now or U-Tour to provide full access to your model homes or inventory homes 7 days a week on the customer's time. Then you have these assets with their interactive floor plans, Matterport tours, VR tours, where people can go through the home and see, like you're demonstrating, some of the attributes that we put into the home, which is really about livability. Do I want to enjoy the space? How can I control the lighting and the audio and every aspect of it? It gets people to the buy line. And I'm on all the fronts of, from the design studio piece or designing homes to the marketing piece or the sales piece. We're going to sell more homes. And the market's not always going to be like this, where new home sales are outpacing resale homes. Things are going to change, and we're going to be competing strongly against resale homes. I just hope a lot of you don't do anything, and then we compete better against all of you. I'm joking.
So, you talk about being able, the marketing side of it, our market where home of Walmart, well, I won't get into that, but we have so many people that move in from all over the world. We have people that have bought homes that have never walked one of our products. They've done it all online, and being able to use a tool like this to show them exactly what it's going to look like gives them that peace of mind. They're in India or they're in wherever, or New York, and they don't have time to come. They can walk through it, see all of that, see the whole house, and be able to pick everything out through this tool. It's just, for us, COVID pushed that, envelope, to where more people were buying online more and more. It's like you said, 100%. The stat we saw yesterday, people, the first place they search is online. They didn't go to a TV ad. They didn't see a billboard. When they were looking for a new home, they're saying now 100% start online. So we've got to embrace that technology, and part of embracing that technology is getting back to John G's point, getting the technology on your plan sets,
Be like water.
Yeah, be like water, adapt.
I agree. I would say that if you
I got to buy you dinner too.
what about me? If
Every dinner for everybody.
he just said it on tape. I think
Alex.
that
You get a car.
Everyone in this room that has not embraced technology yet, whether it's technology you install in your homes or technology you use to connect with your clients, you're already behind. You're already way behind. There are companies who are very forward-thinking, who are making extreme progress with these technologies, and it's not going to slow down. Engage with companies like Higharc, learn from builders like these two about what's available and what they're doing. Engage with technical designers, engage with your local integrators, engage with manufacturer partners you're going to meet here. You were smart enough to build these incredible building companies. You definitely have the brain power inside your four walls to build great tech solutions and to compete with people who are not at this event today, people who are not as forward-thinking and looking for tech solutions. So this is a competitive advantage that's going to last for years. If you do your due diligence now and do the work now, there's some really great stuff coming, but you've got to do the work on the back end. So we've got a couple minutes left. Thanks to the panelists. If you all have any questions, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer. We must have covered everything.
Yeah,
not a single question.
Good.
Awesome. We'll let you go a minute or two early. Thanks.
Thank you.